So you have done the building and you have done the copying as well. So using these kind of commands, you did a SCP, you gave the file permission, and now you have to start your service, start your Spring Boot service using nohub command. The full command is here. You give some memory size min and max, depends upon your configuration. You have to check how much you want to allocate. Everything is just syntax. So you can check it out if you want to allocate 1 GB, 2 GB, depending upon how much your machine is available and how many services are you running there. You will allocate some min and max memory for your microservice. And then you will say which jar it is, and when it runs, where do you want to log it. And then this is the syntax. Nohub means run it as a background process. So here we go. Okay. Enter ll tail -f validation -log. Notice the logs are telling the story what happened. When the service tried to start up, this validator rule cache, no validator found. So accordingly, it went for loading from the database. For loading from the DB, it created a Hikari connection pool. Look at this part. It created a Hikari connection pool. A DB connection was created. We have done all this coding last week. Now we are able to verify all that it is working properly. Now it is saying updated the values in the cache. Okay, it updated this value. And then it updated the rule parameters also. Look here. This is also updated in Redis cache. And in the end, it is saying, okay, Tomcat is properly up on 8081. So currently we are able to see it was EC2, okay, was able to successfully connect to RDS and load those parameters. At least as per logs, we see that. Second, and that is correct, right? If you don't connect to the DB, how can you get these two values? So it connected to the database, it loaded these two values. So DB connection is working. That's the test proof. Second, it is saying we have written it in Redis cache also. Let's verify whether the writing has happened properly or not. Okay? So we will go for Redis 6-CLI and then go here. Look at the keys. Notice it's available here. So in the Redis cache also, those two keys are added. Okay, let's try to see lrange this key from 0 to -1, everything. Notice these two things are available here. Next, get all from this key. Yes, that is also available here. So both of them are loaded in Redis. So it is loaded from the database and saved into the Redis. So we are able to do this also, and Spring Boot application is able to do both these activities. Guys, are we clear with this? Right? So, but how the setup happened, you need to be careful which IP of Redis you are connecting, which database you are connecting, and where you are deploying it, and then verify everything with logs. If one mistake you do, it will have problems. That is what is configuration information. And this is the reason we deploy on AWS, because locally it was anyways working. But in AWS, all this configuration will be new. And for every environment, you have to keep doing that till you go to the production scenario. Okay? Fine. Chalo, let's resume back, guys. Let's test the application. Let's test the application. So what we will do, it's all good. Exit cl clear tail -f validator.log. Let's try to call this endpoint to create a payment request. Okay. So here we go. Postman. This is our endpoint. Let's say txn underscore dev, we will say. And let's start with 01. Just some merchant reference ID, we are putting a 01. Let's change the localhost to point to AWS IP. So we go here, we collect localhost, we point to AWS IP. And then let's try to call it. Let's see what happens. Okay, go. Yes, logs are running. Response is there. Notice, so everything is working smoothly. Everything is working smoothly. We are able to make the API call. It went through all the processes. It ran the duplicate transaction validator. Notice, primary key, it inserted into the record 1. Primary key is 1. Okay. No duplicate transaction detected. So perfect. This is working properly. Then it went for applying payment attempt threshold also. Both the validation rules it has executed, and count of user attempt in the last 2 minutes is 1. Okay. And maximum threshold value is like 5. So it is basically working. Now, so what is this command that we are doing? This is the tail simple command. So a lot of testing will happen by using this command, testing. So you will just run this command and you will give some enters, and then you will try with API. Nothing but the way we are doing right now. Okay, let's change it to 2 and then call it again. Okay, fine, it is working again. Now notice, it prints all the logs. Sometimes it becomes hard to find something in so many logs. Okay, so another common practice of how we do tailing is something like this. It is printing so many logs because every file is going to print. What do we do is, guys, focus here. This is something which developer needs very commonly. Let's say you are interested in payment attempt threshold. Okay, and you are interested to check this one, count of payment attempt in the last X minutes. Okay, so you can do something like this. Copy this pattern that I want to know only this statement. Okay, I want to know only this statement. Just notice what I'm doing. Control C, clear, LL, grep. Grep is going to find a pattern. This kind of a pattern from validation.log. So grep is the command. You will take a pattern and you will search. It will only print those kind of statements. So from all the logs, it will help you to finalize, okay, what happened. So earlier only 1 count was there, then later 2 count was there. So please be aware, this kind of a grep command is a very commonly used command while doing day-to-day work. It helps you to really find. Another thing is clear. While doing tail -f validator.log, here by default, what is happening whenever you are doing testing? It prints everything, right? So I go to the third one. Shoot. It prints so many logs. You might lose your focus while you're doing it. So you can combine a grep here also. Just see tail -f, this one. Now, whatever output is coming from that, you can give that as an input to grep command. So guys, in Linux, this pipe is nothing but it combines multiple commands together. What happens? Output of this command is going to be given input to the next command. So all the logs which were coming, on that you are putting a grep of your pattern. Okay, you are putting a grep of this pattern. Now just notice what will happen when you are doing testing. So this is a very common practice. Many times we just focus like this itself. Let's say 4, and then you call. Now it prints only that. Your focus is on that particular line. This is how you deal with these logs. Okay. Now let's call one more time. Let's call one more time. 4, 5. Okay. Now look at it. The attempts are changing. Now you call it one more time. 6. Just see, the attempts are changing. You call it one more time. So behind the screen, all the logs are printed, but you are seeing only one which you are interested in checking. Okay, 5 is done. So 5 is the threshold also. Let's try it one more time. Yes, payment attempt threshold reached and the value was 6. So please be aware, like this kind of we might use, and this is also a very common practice. This is also a very common practice. Okay, we already copied it here, but just be aware, tail and then grep. Oh, these are two different things. Notice, okay, fine. Okay, this is command 1, just tailing. Command 2, grep on a particular file. Command 3, you can combine these two things. And many times in the project, you will have to work with these kind of log files and then try to grep from there, try to do VI editor and search in that file. Let me show you that also. If these greps and tails are not working for you, you have to then go inside. Okay, VI validation.log. So by default, you are on the first line. You want to go on the last line. How your searching should happen within the file? You will do Shift G. You will move to the last line. Okay, and then you want to search a pattern. Give a question mark. So this is again syntax. Shift G. You go to the last line. Then you give a question mark, and then you give what pattern you are trying to search. We want to search for this pattern. Just paste it here. Notice it highlighted that pattern. You want to do find previous. Just click here first, enter, and then N. Notice it goes to the previous pattern. And then again click. So just see here, count 5. Again click on N. Now count 4 is coming. Again click on N. Count 3 is coming. So by this way, you can find a pattern and then read line by line what is going on. Okay. So let's see. Currently the pointer is here, and then line by line you scroll, and then you keep checking what happened after that. So this helps you in debugging. So generally you go to the last occurrence because your recent testing will always logs have in the end only. So you go Shift G and then question mark, then whatever pattern you are trying to search in the system. Let's say you want to search anything basically. Is there an error like this? You want to search for this pattern. You just copy paste that pattern and just click and enter. Yes, it happened here only. So that means there is error in processing. But guys, this is another way of finding it. Okay. So VI, and then you do Shift G, VI file, Shift plus G. After that, you Shift G will take you to the last line. VI, Shift G, it takes to line. Next question mark, and then whatever pattern you want to search, and then enter, and then you keep pressing N. It will go to the find previous. Okay, so by this way you will have to use searching patterns in your VI tool. Another way could be, if you want to search from the beginning, okay, you do something like this, :1. So colon, then you can give line number. 1 is line number 1. When you give that, you go to the first line of the file, :1. If you give :20, you go to the 20th line number. But we are doing :1, first line number. And then you want to search it in the forward direction. Question mark, say you're going backward. Now you want to search it in forward. You have to give forward slash. So tools are there, shortcuts are there. That's what. Play around with VI editor. Already when we discussed EC2, you just go to chat GPT and say, okay, give me the commonly used VI editor commands. And then in your local machine itself, we can play around with file, play around. But this searching will be very common activity. Forward search. Find next means forward search. And then you have to use whatever pattern you are looking for. And then paste it here, give an enter, and again n command you have to keep giving. It goes to the find next. If it goes to the last line, it again starts from the beginning. So that is the another way. Okay, please be aware. So another way could be vi, then colon 1, and then forward, then enter, and then n. Okay, this is how you keep moving forward search. Forward search, nothing but find next. Find next from the first line. Okay, so guys, these kind of commands are very handy, and as a backend developer, you have to be aware of that. There will be some systems where tools like Kibana will be there. Kibana, which is nothing but log monitoring tools, where you don't have to go to these black screens and play with this. Rather, a web UI console will be there. There you can search the logs. And guys, the way SQL is available to work with Kibana, KQL is available, Kibana query language. So there is a lot of things to learn. Okay. So as a beginner, you start focusing on application development. And as you go into the industry, new and new things will keep coming. But initial focus for a beginner is, can you understand functionality? Can you code properly? Can you do some testing properly? If you can do that, these many other things which will come, you can quickly learn those things on the job itself. But building application, that knowledge is definitely required, because in the end we build applications, and then there will be a lot of other tools which you have to learn on the fly, okay, in the companies while you are working. Okay, fine. So guys, this is how we can check it. Is this all clear, guys? Are we clear? Please give a quick confirmation, guys. Are we clear? You have to work with tail command, grep command. Okay, hello team, give a quick confirmation. Hello. Okay, Chandrika confirms. What about the rest? Pallavi confirms. Okay. Tail command, grep command, via editors for searching the pattern. Okay, Surender, Sai, good. Okay, let's go further. So we are done with the basic stuff. RDS is ready, Redis is ready. You are able to read. We are able to perform these duplicate transactions and everything. Now comes the final part of setup, which is working with Secrets Manager. Okay, let's go ahead with the next part now, working with Secrets Manager. Lot of changes are there for this also. Basically, two changes we have to do, guys. For Secret is for what? Sensitive data. So property file. Sensitive data should not be there in your repository. Okay, then where should it be? It should be outside somewhere. What that somewhere could be? One of the option is Secrets Manager. You can place it in some other places also. Sometimes the GitHub, in Bitbucket, you can create some other place and do it. Or you can have it in GitLab. So there are multiple sources where you can put it and which will be properly secured. But since we are in AWS, AWS provides a dedicated service for secret managing, and that is a Secret Manager service. Okay. So we need to do two things. First, set up AWS Secret Manager to hold sensitive data. Nothing but these two things. This password, this secret key, they should not be in our property file. So where it should be? Oh, you need to set up these two things in AWS Secret Manager. Okay, so that is our first requirement. This two data should be moved outside from our code here, and then it should be available. This also should be moved outside. Okay, and then accordingly, second part is change in application to remove this configuration from property file and update application so it reads information from AWS Secrets Manager. These are the two things we have to apply. Take a minute to absorb this. Working with Secret Manager. First, sensitive data has to be kept there. Second, local changes in order to read from that sensitive data. So first, please be aware, sensitive data should not be kept in source code. It should be stored outside. Sometimes non-prod sensitive data might still be kept. Okay, if possible, avoid it. If possible, avoid, but sometimes you might see people doing. Okay, but prod data should 100% be kept outside. Prod data should 100%, prod sensitive data should 100% be kept outside, and one of the practices using AWS Secrets Manager. Now, please be aware, if you are itself the developer, you are saying, fine, we are not keeping it here, but as a developer, we will itself set up these things in the secret manager. No, that is wrong assumption. This information, what is the actual value of the password of the production system? What is the actual secret key of the production system? That will never be known to any of the developers. Many times, not even to your manager or the technical lead. Directly client side people will involve there, and they will be directly setting it up. Or sometimes, yes, manager and tech lead, they might give the control, okay, after approval, but only very limited people will ever know the production values. Generally, nobody is supposed to know. So for many of the projects, like I being the manager, even leading 40-member team, I don't take these credentials. If somebody is giving me, I say I don't want it. Simple reason. If you have the credential and something goes wrong, then you are also accountable for that. Maybe you have not done something, but if you have the credentials, people will question you, they will audit you, they will check what have you done in the system. They will monitor all your logs, all your laptop activities, what you did on the AWS, because now you are a suspect. Because you had the key and something has gone wrong in production, all the people who have the key, they all will be analyzed, audited to find out who is the culprit, who did the damage to the system. So we have to be very careful. I proactively say I don't want access to all these systems. Only the guys, maybe DevOps related senior, who is going to do some basic setup, I give only to one person. Because if something goes wrong, I know that person is supposed to be caught for that also. Maybe he has not done it, somebody else did, but at least one person only we will target, not the entire team. So make sure, if possible, avoid these kind of things. Because when something goes wrong, you will be targeted for that. And that's the right thing to do, because company needs to find where the damage happened, who the damage did, and everybody who has the key, they will be targeted. Okay, fine. So what is the next thing? So this data will not be set up by developers, not developers. They will not be knowing also what these values are. Directly, some client guys will be setting up, or maybe one or two approved members, and only those people will set up. So that's what is going to happen. Okay, let's get into more technicals of how to do all this setup now. Set up AWS Secrets Manager to hold sensitive data. Already the instructions are available into this document. Later on, AWS Secret Manager, what to do, how to do the setup, all the step-by-step things are available. Let's try to do it. Okay. First, we will search for Secrets Manager. So this is the service. AWS has a lot of services. So Secrets Manager is the service. Let's open it up in a new configuration. Guys, observe. Currently, there are no secret setup. Looks like for every secret that you're storing here, AWS is going to do some charging for you. So keep minimal secrets, and once it is not required, you can delete it as well. Now, store a new secret. So you click on store a new secret. There are multiple types of secrets here, specifically database related if you want to set up. Generally, people can choose other type of secret where you can give key and the value. Okay, simple. So create a secret store, and then you can choose other type of secret where you can give key value kind of things. So let's say, for example, in our dev environment, our key is this one. So you will use this as the key name, whatever you had it in the property file, and accordingly, value is going to be like this, which will be set up by one person of the team or the client. Generally, it is non-prod, so maybe your tech lead might do it. Sometimes non-prod, they might say, let's keep it in property file only. Why to do all this? Why to spend money or secret saving? Production ka we will do it. Anyways, be aware of what is happening in your project. So what do? The way you have set up your key and the value in property file, you take the key, you put it here, you take the value here. You have more than one configuration, sensitive data. You just click on one more row. Again, let's say this secret key. Also, you put the key here and you put the value here. Okay, like this setup is going to happen. So sensitive data, we are moving it into AWS Secret Manager. There are a few more steps. Let's continue with those next actions. Next, how do you want to identify the sensitive data? So we saved these two things, right? If you notice, what have we done? Dev environment. These two things are dev environment of payment validation service. For the QA environment, other values could be there. So nothing but these are environment specific, service specific values. Just notice, what have we done so far? Environment specific and service specific values set up in Secret Manager. Nothing but dev environment for payment validation service. Dev environment for payment validation service. If you want to set up QA environment, you will have to create a new store. QA environment for this one. Okay, let's say you are setting up some secret for Stripe provider service. You will create a new secret store. Dev environment for Stripe provider service. So please be aware, based upon your property file, you are setting up the values. Accordingly, your changes will be there. Here, it is environment specific, service specific configuration. What we have done in the previous step is, notice if I click on previous, these two values are dev environment for validation service. For QA, these two things can be different. So we need to save environment specific, service specific data. Guys, is this point clear? Because property file ka things we are changing it into cloud. So how exactly? Environment specific and service specific. So somehow we need to do this naming accordingly. Let's check it out. Okay, let's look at it. Thanks for confirming. So we will set up this value, go to the next. Here we need to choose the naming accordingly. Something like this, we will be choosing the naming accordingly. It's up to you how pattern you form, but dev environment of payment validation service. So looking at this name, we know what you are doing. So this is the name of this secret store that you're trying to create. This name we will choose like this. If you go for this place, you will choose QA. If you go for this, you will choose dev and then name of the service. Again, it is only for your ease of understanding. Environment specific, service specific changes. Okay, fine, and somehow you save it here and just continue rest with the defaults. Next. Okay, it is saying this kind of secret name already exists. So maybe for experimenting, I might have created it. So let's put some other additional name here. Feb 26 CT. So I'm putting this as the name. Let's go here and let's put it here. I'm choosing this as the name, Feb 26 CT. And there we come and try to do a next. Okay, continue with the default and then save it. So notice our secret name is this one. Our secret name is this one. Okay, let me just update this configuration here. So I'm replacing it at all the places because there are other commands that we are supposed to use with this. Replace all. Okay, done. So what have we done? We created a secret. Did we create it? No, we are reviewing it right now. Step number 4, other type of secret with whatever AWS encryption. This is the name. Everything just defaults. No need to worry about all those configurations. Just click on store. Okay, refresh. Yes, it is available. Okay, so dev payment validation service Feb 26 CT available. Tomorrow you want to change any of the data, you will just come here and somewhere secret values, retrieve secret value option is available, and then edit option. Just see. Again, not developers will not have access to all these things. Even if you have access to AWS account, these permissions will not be given. So you cannot come here and read all these things later also. Everything will be highly secured. And then you can click on this edit and you can keep add new things, edit the existing values. All those things are possible. Okay, fine. Once you do these things, it is available. The secret is ready. Now, there is one thing you have to understand. Okay, I'm just showing you one command. Let's run this command first from EC2 machine. This is our EC2 machine. I'm running this command. Okay, just check it out. Because the secret manager is very sensitive data, by default, your EC2 machine is not able to access the secret manager also. That's the default setup. Okay, this command basically tries to collect the details from secret manager. That's it. Currently, it is not working. Just see AWS Secret Manager, get secret value, and your ID is this one. This is what we created right now, and it is in region this one. Just see, by default, you are not able to even load the values. So that is the next thing, because you're dealing with sensitive data. So we created this sensitive data, okay, created below secret. Fine. Next, by default, EC2 machine is not able to connect to this secret because there are some problems. It's sensitive data. We have to control who is allowed to access or not access. By default, EC2 machine is not able to connect to the secret. So what will happen? Even if you deploy your Java application, it will have problems in connecting to secret manager. So next aim is we need to enable EC2 to be able to connect to secret manager. We need to enable EC2 to be able to connect to secret manager. Okay, how exactly we can do that? There is a setup for that also. Nothing but AWS provides something called as IAM roles. Some using role setup. We need to set up a role which allows EC2 to be able to connect to Secret Manager. So first we need to create a role. Second step, assign this role to your EC2 machine. Nothing but they have some mechanism. Currently, EC2 is not able to connect to Secret Manager. Okay, fine. For that, what is the way of doing it in AWS? They have a concept called as IAM role. Okay, looks like identity access management, like who can access what, some roles, privileges are there. So in that, we need to create a role which allows EC2 machine to connect to a Secret Manager. Once you created that kind of a role, you simply assign that role to your EC2 machine, and your machine will be able to do it. Okay, let's look at these things practically, then you will get confidence automatically. Okay, so guys, we will go here. So like this, multiple AWS services are there. Let's search for this IAM role. Yeah. And you need to click on these roles entry. Okay, IAM role, click on these roles entry. Okay, let's create a new role. So you need to go for create role. For AWS service you want to do, yes. For one of the service, EC2 is our service. Just see use case, allow AWS service like EC2 to perform certain actions in this account. Okay, fine. So we want EC2 service, commonly used EC2 service. Okay, EC2 service to perform an action. What kind of action? You have to specify it here. So just notice, you want AWS service EC2 to perform certain action. What is that action? Click on next and just search for Secrets Manager to be able to, these are default permissions which is created by AWS team. Default permissions are there. Secret Manager read write. So AWS has created some kind of permissions already in the library, and which you can access here. Using this Secrets Manager read write, EC2 machine will be able to write to Secret Manager, read from Secret Manager. If you want only read only access, you can choose this one, read only access. Okay, so point is, depending upon your requirement, you will set up certain permissions to your EC2 machine. So currently we will be setting up our EC2 with Secret Manager read write permission. But for that, you just choose this itself, and then you do a next. Okay, you try to give some name to this. We can say, let's say Feb 26 CT EC2, okay, read write to Secret Manager. Anything which helps you to remember what this configuration is. So this is our configuration. This is the role name. So AWS has these kind of setups, roles, permissions, policies. So they have built in some permissions, read write to Secret Manager. We are assigning that to a EC2 and creating a new role for us. This is a kind of setup that we are going through. Okay, and that is where, guys, all this is a DevOps expertise. Don't think you are supposed to know all this. Then why are we discussing it? Better to have awareness of how these things happen, because it has some impact on your application. Generally in your team, you might just tell your senior that, hey, I want to do this, and somebody else might just do it for you, or DevOps guy might do it for you. As you start getting 3 years, 4 years of experience, people will expect you to be aware of some basic configurations also. So my suggestion will be, as soon as you're 2 years of experience person, get control on the AWS part also. So application development plus AWS, and in application development, front end plus back end, and because of AI, in any programming language. So not just Java. So you should be able to work as soon as you're gaining, you got the job. As you're growing in your career, you need to evolve into bigger roles. Now you're starting with Java backend, immediately become a full stack, work on Angular, React kind of applications. Next, immediately even add another skill set to you, maybe Python based, Golang programming based. Node.js based. So you should be able to work upon any kind of technology. That's how your transition should happen. And parallelly, you should be able to work on AWS. And then once this is done, you have to upgrade into GCP, Google Cloud Platform, and then into Azure. Because in different parts of the world, different projects, different skill sets will be required. So you have to really grow in almost all of the directions. Okay? So that's how you can have better opportunities in future. So you get the job as one, but that's what we said, 0 to 5 years of experience, extreme hard work. Why? Because you should become all this capable till you get 5 years of experience itself. So later on, life becomes easy. Fine. If you don't do, future mein jaake you will suffer because job switch are critical. Other people are using some other technologies. You are not confident in that. Problems come if you are not proactively prepared for life. Okay? Fine. Guys, are we clear with this? 0 to 5 years of experience, grow in all of these directions. Okay? Nice. I will make a quick note of this and then we will move to the next point. Make it a personal mission to upgrade in everything. And because AI is there, so it's possible to upgrade in all the technologies. So you start as Java backend. That is okay. But immediately, as soon as you are in the job, you are able to do the work nicely. Maybe as you are touching 1 year, 2 year experience, you need to become a full stack. And for that, you acquire the skill of React or Angular, depending upon whatever is happening for front end in your projects. Once you're gaining this, your further evolution will happen with 2+ years of experience. You start growing into your AWS knowledge and other programming knowledge, which could be Golang. Golang is picking up nicely in the market. It is fast, robust. Many people preferring it. Node.js is picking up. Python applications are there. So these are some of the popular programming languages. And microservice concepts remain the same for all of them because architectures are language independent. So whatever you learned here, even layered architecture and everything, you can apply these same concepts in other programming. Error handling, just syntax will be something different, but approach of building applications will be the same. Okay. So as you gain 2+ years of experience, you should start upgrading this. So by the time you are reaching 4 to 5 years of experience, already this kind of mastery has happened. And you should start these things also with 3+ years of experience. Strong focus on system design should also happen. Okay, you start growing on system design aspect also. So by the time 4 or 5 years of experience happen, you are basically very nicely skilled for all of these things. And now, because you are in the times of AI, in the initial adoption itself, AI tools control should come to you. Nothing but using the tools like GitHub Copilot, GitHub Copilot, Agent Mode, next Cursor, next Claude Code, or whatever other things might come in the market, you should try to master that. And as you're growing further, along with 2+ years of experience, I would suggest also start mastering into AI engineering roles. So maybe with Java itself, you can start more than just switching to any other programming language. Initial priority you give to AI engineering and this one. So AI engineering is building nothing but AI agents using the concept of RAG, MCPs, okay, working with vector databases, working with embeddings, directly working with multiple types of models which are available, image generation models, text generation models. So you have to play around with these things. As soon as you're getting some initial grip into the job, you're able to do the functional thing, start upgrading into these two. And for this in Spring AI is offering the support for you guys. Once you start mastering this, because this has better prospects for you, and then eventually you can just move into this. Python has amazing support for AI related world. Lot of libraries, lot of frameworks are for Python support only. Java is now picking up, but yeah, you can switch to even some Python for learning this more of AI engineering. You will again have more options when this future of AI engineering evolves in the Indian market. Okay? So that's how your growth curve should be. But let me tell you, 0 to 5 years, if you relax and you don't get all this knowledge, after 5 years, I have seen many people quit IT and they say, this is not for us, because they are outdated, they are not in the pace of the market, they are trying to do job switching, nobody is getting an like cracking the interviews. Life becomes really very hard if you waste your 0 to 5 years of experience. So very busy, lot of responsibility, lot of new things you have to learn. Once this foundation is laid, okay, future becomes smooth. That's my practical observation by looking at a lot of people in the IT industry. Okay? So fine, let's come back to our topic. Let's come back to our topic. So don't think as soon as you get the job, you should relax. Nahi. Job is interview cracking is the day one of your IT career. That's where the game begins. So right now you're playing one game, ki how to reach towards that destination. That destination is the beginning for another journey for you. So next 5 years is going to be very awesome. And those people who master it, they will grow in their career like anything. Otherwise, people will struggle. Okay? That's the truth. If you understand it, do something about it. Fine. Let's move forward. What are we doing? Role permissions we are creating. Let's go back here. This is the role name. This is the role name. Okay. And let's click on final. Just review it. Click on final. Create role. Okay. Let's see whether the role is created. Yes, the role is created. So guys, step number 1, create a role. IAM role. Okay, like this we have created the role. Step number 2, assign that role to your EC2 machine. Then only your EC2 becomes capable to perform that action. So step 1 is just setting up generically. You set up ke EC2 should be able to connect to Secret Manager. Now you have to say ki which EC2. So you need to assign it to your EC2 machine. How do you do that? You go to your instance where the EC2 machine is there. And then you choose your action, security, modify IAM role. Okay. So we created a role. Now we need to assign that role here by clicking what? Action, security, and then modify IAM role. Next, currently no role is chosen. You pick this one, which we created right now, and then assign it here. And just click on this update IAM role. Okay. Role setting is updated. Just go to this place and try to run the same command again. Notice it is able to now connect and get the values. Again, for the production, you will not have access to this EC2 machine also. So don't worry that, oh, these passwords are visible if you run these kind of commands. So generally, it's not going to be visible because you will not be even able to access the AWS EC2 machine of the production system. Okay, production will be much more secured. Non-Prodca, you will have access. Production is highly secured, and even for getting the logs, you need to raise a permission. Some other team will then, you have to specify, okay, I want these kind of logs from this much time to this much time with reasoning. Why do you really need it? And then it will be approved by your manager. Then it will go to the production team. They will then get those kind of logs and give it to you. And they will check in the logs whether any kind of customer sensitive data is there. They will do certain proper masking for that and then give it to you, so that accidentally nothing goes wrong in production. So there will be a process for dealing with production scenarios. Okay? Again, different projects might have different approaches, but please be aware it is highly secured. Okay, you can relax on that. It is highly secured. If people have not done it, then problems can come. Okay, fine, chalo. So secret manager access happened in our EC2 machine. Secrets we are able to store. We need to have a role capability. First part is done. AWS work is done for this. Guys, are we clear with this? Team, are we clear with this? Hello, everyone. Are you there? Hello, hello, hello. Okay, Pallavi is there. Chandrika is there. Priyanshu is there. Okay, nice. Good, good. Everybody focus. Surrender, clear. Very good. Okay, let's continue further. Second part is application side changes. Okay, let's do the application side change. First thing boils down to, how it happens. Again, Spring guys have made the life very simple. So developers don't have to worry much here. Okay. What Spring team has done is, Spring has given some kind of jar dependency for working with these AWS Secret Manager. Nothing but you add a POM configuration, POM dependency. We know Spring Boot is all about auto configurations and rapid application development. What it will do, Spring Boot is going to read this kind of secret manager and it will try to create some Spring Beans. While creating the Spring Bean, we need to provide some property file configuration to say that, okay, where are secrets stored. In property file, we need to specify that. Okay, where did we save our secrets? In property file, we need to specify that. So when the Spring is doing this auto configuration, it will read this and it will automatically connect. We don't have to write code and all that for that. That's the power of Spring Boot. Spring Boot like code, Spring Boot loaded Spring Bean will automatically connect to AWS Secrets Manager based on the name which you specified, okay, and load those properties inside your AWS container. Load those properties inside your AWS container. Okay, and once the properties come, as if it is in your property file, like that it will make it available to you. That means wherever in the code you can use @value or any other Spring Bean will be able to read these two things also by default. Means it is so simple. The way Spring is reading these properties and making it available so that you can do auto wiring with that or @value annotation with that, like that, Spring will automatically read all the fields from Secret Manager also and make it available inside your application. But you don't have to do much coding for that. All you just need to do is add a POM dependency and specify where your secret is stored. Then Spring Boot will create the beans. These beans will read this secret store, get the values as if it is in your property file only. So from coding perspective, no change. Coding wise, you do @value annotation, you do whatever other bean way you are doing, but only two changes you have to do: POM dependency required and property configuration required. Okay, fine, let's do that. So what are we going to do here? So here we have specified what Java application changes are required. You need to specify this one, Spring Cloud Starter AWS Secret Manager config. This is the dependency which is provided by the Spring team for these kind of projects. So we go here, pom.xml, and put the dependency here. Okay. Put the dependency here, save it. Once this dependency is added, you need to make the changes for dev.property, not to any other place, right? Dev property, we are doing somewhat different. What is required? You should not have these values here. So my recommended approach is you comment this. These two things should not be here because it will come from that place. And then you delete the values. And then you specify here loaded from AWS Secret Manager. So we are not keeping these values in our local property file, so it will never be visible. And we comment it. Why? Because future developers might try to see where is the password coming from. If you delete this value, people might be confused what is happening. So better to put this as an information. Okay, this value and value for this is coming from AWS Secret Manager. Then people will be relaxed. Future developers who are new to the project, they have clarity. Okay, what is happening in the system. So my recommendation is always comment it out, remove the values, remove values important, mention that it is coming from AWS Secret Manager. Okay, one change you will do like this. Another change is you need to specify, okay, you need to specify this command, spring cloud config import. You need to specify this property file, spring config import equal to, just check it out. Here in the dev property file, you are saying, okay, from AWS Secret Manager, and this is my secret store. This is my secret store. We created our store with this name only. We are just specifying that import the configurations from this place. So what will happen when the Spring Beans try to be like when the Spring system tries to come up, the Spring Beans will be created. While the Spring Beans are created, it will read this Spring config import, and here you're specifying from where do you want to import, and this is the destination of AWS Secrets Manager. This is destination of AWS Secrets Manager, and it is supposed to give you the 2 fields from that place. So that's it. Only these many changes required. So remove the actual values. Next, point your application to pick up from there. Next, you need this dependency. Now build and deploy it. Okay. So let's save it all. Again, when you try to build this, skip test has to be enabled. Why? Because your local cannot connect to that secret store. It was not allowing EC2 to connect. How can your local be allowed? So again, you have to build it by skip test operation on. So right click, run as, Maven build. Please note, in dev we are using, some time ago we said, right, profile specific and service specific configuration. You will create another thing for QA hyphen, and that you will specify it in the QA property file. So like that, environment specific, service specific configurations are available. So you just have to use the right name in the right files, and Spring will do the rest of the hard work for you. You do just the configuration, give the direction to the framework, framework will load the value. Fine, everything is saved. Let's go here, right click, run as, build, clean package -p dev, skip test case execution, run it. And all these things, while you are doing deployments on AWS, you need to be clear. Even though you don't work with AWS, but you will work with these property files. You need to get all these right data and information by asking the people, hey, where is our store? Where are you storing it? Okay, maybe our other team members have stored it. They should give you the proper names. If that does not happen, this is a developer job, right? So only configuration is AWS might be done by one person, but this is a developer job. You need to know the right values for the right fields. Otherwise, your application will suffer. Okay, fine. We have built this. So guys, locally, we have built the new jar. We are supposed to deploy it there. There is a process for everything. Currently, what is the state? Here we are on the machine. PS, let's do this. PS-EF. It will show all the processes. grep Java. Pipe is the separator which combines. Today we saw tail pipe grep. This is called as pipe. So tail command, pipe grep. Nothing but output of tail command. You run a pipe grep on that. Now what we are doing? Output of process command on that grep. Grep does basically filter. It's kind of searching. So we are just doing like this. If you give only PS-EF, just see all the processes of the system are coming. Now you're saying, I don't want all the processes. Then what do you want? We want from these processes wherever Java word is involved. So this is how we get PS grep Java. So note that currently service is up and running, and this is the process ID which it occupied. Guys, listen this part carefully. Earlier we have not discussed it during EC2 time. Right now we are discussing it. Please put your attention. Okay, how to deploy changes in EC2 machine. Changes means how to deploy new changed jar file in EC2 machine. We saw it earlier, but few of the steps we have not done it. Today, let's focus on that. Okay, step number 1. You need to take a backup of the current jar. Very important. You need to take a backup of the current jar. Why? Because if you deploy your new jar and if something goes wrong with that, you lose your previous jar also, you lose your current work also. And other people might say, Arey, we are blocked now for 1 hour, you are fixing the problems there. Maybe this previous jar was deployed by another developer, because AWS is common for everybody. Another developer deployed this jar and code was working. You said, oh, I need it only for 10 minutes for my testing. And then you replace this jar, you delete it. And now your code is breaking. And now you're trying to fix it. But you lost the previous jar there. And now you need 30 minutes only to fix it. Other people will say, hey, you said only 10 minutes. Why are you taking, like, my time is like wasted here. So if it is problem, better that you come back to your system, revert with the previous jar, which was already available there. So what is a common practice? You need to take a backup. Take backup of the previous code which is running in AWS. Don't replace it directly. Very important thing. Take backup of the previous code which is running in AWS. Then you deploy your changes. If you have big problems in your code, you should revert back to previous jar so others are able to continue with their testing. This is a responsibility of every developer. This is responsibility of every developer. How do you do this backups? Simple, guys. It's copy pasting, nothing more than that. Create a new folder, mkdir bkp. Whatever this, right now I have not copied it. We created a new jar. At 12:16, we created a new jar. I have not copied it there. First, we will take a backup. How do you do a backup? CP command, payment validation. I want to move it into backup folder with the same, that's it. Copy this jar into backup folder. Okay. Let's check it out. CD bkp ll. Yes, the backup is available. Sometimes what people will say is they will name it properly so that they know what it is. So I'm doing a move payment to this one dot jar dot, what is the today's date? 16th March dot 1. So by this way, they just name it properly, because over a period of many days, more backups might be there. So accidentally, you should not revert some other previous jar. So people generally will name it also properly. So simple, MV is move command, CP is copy command. So we can use these kind of commands to just do this backup activity. Fine. Next, once the backup is created, replace the new jar file here. So we can go here and run the command again to copy the newly created jar into the destination location. Okay, it's going there. So once the backup is taken, copy new jar to the destination location. Okay, it is done, it is copied. LL date 1651, 1652. So roughly, yes, that time itself jar is copied. Okay, next, you need to stop the previously running server. You cannot start two services on the same port. We know that already. You need to stop the previously running server. How do you do that? ps-ef grep java. This is the process for that. Kill -9 and this one. Okay, it is supposed to be down. Let's search it. Let's search it. Yes, it is down. Now, once the service is down, we restart it back again. For that, I'm doing Control R, no hub, because when you do Control R, you're searching through the history, and then you type something, you get suggestions. So you don't have to always remember all the commands. No hub, Java space -jar, blah, blah, blah. Let's turn it. Okay, ll tail -f validation.logs. Let's see what happens. Let's check it out, guys. Okay, look here. We saw first dev profile is active. So we know that it read values from development place. Okay, awesome. Look at the next thing, immediately line after that, guys. Loading secrets from AWS Secret Manager with name, this one. What started happening? Spring Boot started creating Spring Bean by reading the value from the dev, and it read this secret name. And on the EC2, we already gave it permission to talk to the secret manager. So EC2 is able to go there and get the values as well. And there are no exceptions. So maybe it found the values. How do we know whether we found the values or not? We will try to insert a value in the database, and then we will see whether insertion is happening. Because currently on startup, Redis was already having the value. Redis logic, remember, if Redis already has the data, don't make the DB call. So there is no DB call which has happened here. So you need to be aware of what project it is and what it is able to test, what it is not able to test. Currently, we have not made any DB call. So we don't really know whether that will work or not. Okay. So, but here at least we have a confirmation that AWS secret was loaded and there is no exception. So maybe it loaded. Let's test it out. Okay. So we go here. Let's try to produce another case. Okay, 9. Go. It's working. Did it write it into the database? Let's go to the database. Where what? Merchant transaction reference. Merchant transaction reference equal to or like this value. Yes, the value is inserted. That means it read the password from the secret manager and automatically able to do it. For developers, how simple changes were, guys? Only a POM required, only a property file required, and Spring connected the pieces, made it available. Application wise, no other changes required. How powerful and how simple, right? Guys, are you getting it? That's the beauty of working with frameworks. Are you getting it, team? So focusing on application development, how to get the work done quickly. Okay, Pallavi gets it. If you guys are setting up AWS, some of you might have done it already. You try to do all these activity once, quickly kar lo. Once your work is done, delete everything. So charging will not come. And if accidentally you keep it for a long time, if bill is coming, small bill should come. Then you talk to AWS and say, hey, I'm just a student. I was practicing. I was not aware of all this charging will happen. I deleted also. Can you please waive it off? Generally, for they will do it. Okay, small amounts, they will just clean it off itself. But make sure it stays small amount. From your side, try to make an attempt of erasing it properly. Okay, and just even tell to the AWS team, okay, can you even delete the remaining configuration if some bill is happening and you are not able to delete? They will clean up from your account or give you the guidance also for that. Okay. So fine, that's how you can do it. And generally they do it for students. They provide this kind of thing, but 6 months tak they will give you credits so that you can even use an experiment also. Think from AWS perspective. The more people use it, that's how they will know more services, right? So more people using AWS, automatically usage of AWS itself will grow into production projects. So they give this initial free entry so that people can experience their system, practice with it, understand with it. but only till practice. If you try overusing it, accordingly charges are going to come, and that too 6 months ka trial they are providing with all these accesses, so you can use it for your working. Fine. Okay, so guys, that is the final part of today. We were able to, okay, copy the new jar file to the destination, stop the previously running server, and then start new microservice. Start new microservice. Once this new microservice is started, we are able to see the logs. This statement, these two statements, means we were able to successfully connect. We were able to successfully connect. Okay? And that's it. I think all the changes are done. So we can just complete our testing here saying, okay, just see how many changes we did. Payment controller is just time pass. Property file we applied and a configuration. That's it. For working with AWS, only one property file was changed. Rest of the Java code, no change at all. And one configuration for reading this one. So only this much of changes. Okay, changes to make payment validation service to work on AWS. Okay, EC2 machine. Fine, let's go here. Push it. Let it just happen. Okay. Now, there will be multiple things. When you look at this setup from scaling perspective, okay, what does that mean, scaling perspective? When more load comes, you want to start a new